Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play of Penumbra Overture with your host Invasion X145 on the PC. Yay! All the scary stuff. And once again we are playing during the daytime because this game is kind of spooky. Where we last left off, we had been scared pretty much, we had been scared enough to need a new pair of pants almost because of dogs outside. And, yeah. And some guy that we were hoping to get all the answers from, even though he had his tongue cut out, was mauled and taken on this beautiful little blood trail into some sort of hole. Which I don't think actually goes any farther than that, but you know. This game is all about the engine, not necessarily about the graphics. And it works pretty darn well for the ambience. So, yeah. What I've also noted, however, in other videos that people have done of this game, and by someone in the comments, I can fight the monsters, apparently. So, I kind of already figured that, but I'm kind of thinking it's going to take away the a bit of the scary factor, but I guess we'll just have to see. And considering how clunky this is, it might not. So let's go outside and hope for the best when we fight this dog that is prowling the halls after this loading screen decides to end. And we already have the puppies. Great. Now, on the other hand, not as heavy as it looks, still it should serve as some form of weapon if I have to defend myself. However, Puppy Dog is gone. So... But you know what? Come on. I am going to pick this up anyway and take it with me just in case. Alright, puppy! Oh god, that's creepy. Haha! Shit! Please don't eat me. Oh god. I see you! Roar yourself. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ah. No, bad dog. Bad dog. Yeah, this fighting mechanism is pretty clunky. And he's gonna run off, apparently. And he's gonna come back. Oh boy. Whew. Okay, well, it takes some of the, it definitely takes some of the scary factor out. But, still not any less tense. The place must be old if they are still using paraffin lamps. Looks like there's still some juice left. Does that mean we can light it? What? Really? No, not quite right. What do you mean? Oh. Well, I thought I combined these already. Oh well. Hey, there we go. That, it lights it up, but it doesn't make it any less creepy. Alright. Now let's see, we just came out of the storage room, and we got a key. So I think we need to head back to the office. Which was somewhere around here. I think it was this way. Yes, here's the office. Open sesame! Now, it should work on this chest. Or not? I'm confused. Fairly basic work desk. This place was converted to... Bleh, I can't talk, apparently. It's a fairly basic work desk. This place must have been converted into a functional office at some stage in its history. Okay, I'm pretty sure I checked all of these already, but I'll just take a look again since it's been a while. Okay, apparently I haven't been through here. Copenhagen Post article. Copenhagen Post? Monday 17th, August 1930. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine? Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mine-altering chemicals naturally sown into the rock may be the cause of high suicide rates at a Greenland mine. The university, which has recently been conducting studies into isolated communities, first became interested in the workers of the northwestern lead mine last year. They discovered that even taking into account Greenland's naturally higher suicide rate, local figures for the last 100 years were abnormally high, at 46 deaths per 100,000 populace compared to the national average of 29. On further investigation, experts diagnosed in many of the miners symptoms in common with the earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, a pH 4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be present in the rocks. Few locals were conducive to interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanation. Inuit spirits known as the Turngate live in the mountains. The university is awaiting the results of chemical testing. Studies continue. Well, okay. There's also a key in here, apparently. And what are these thingies? I may never get used to that. Also, one of the commenters said that this is also a save thingy. I kind of figured that out in part 3 of this Let's Play, but, nice to have that verified. Unfortunately, it makes it a little bit less creepy, so... Okay, let's try the small key on this. And we have a book. Big Book of Explosives, 1923 edition. Cool. Chapter 1.3, Black Match Fuse. The black match fuse is one of the oldest, simplest, and most reliable fuses used in modern pyrotechnics. It is easy to create, essentially consisting of just string and gunpowder, but be warned, the chemicals concerned will stain clothing, and as always, due concern is advised. Materials required: string, preferably cotton, black gunpowder, and backstrin. The string should be coated with a thin layer of backstrin, which acts as an adhesive. The string is then carefully rolled in the gunpowder and left to dry at least a couple of minutes before use. So that explains the need for the chemical that we picked up, which I'm pretty sure is backstrin. So I guess we're going to have to find cotton and gunpowder around here somewhere. Chapter 2.1, Dynamite. Invented by Alfred Noble in 1866, dynamite is commonly used in construction, mining, and demolition. It has proved far safer to handle than alternatives such as pure nitroglycerin, provided, that is, it has been properly stored. Over time, the explosive component of dynamite, supposedly made safe by the presence of the diatomaceous earth, has a tendency to weep, making an old box of the explosive liable to detonate on contact. Materials required: 1 part diatomaceous earth, 3 parts nitroglycerin, small amount of sodium carbonate. Text unreadable, and then simply form into short sticks and wrap in paper. It's not very helpful. I guess we're not going to be making it anytime soon. Chapter 2.3, Trinitrotoluene. That's a mouthful. I'm sure if I actually knew how to pronounce that, it'd be a lot easier, but oh well. TNT was first discovered in 1863 by German chemist Joseph Wildbrand, but it took some years before it yielded its true potential. This was because of the difficulty of making it explode and the lesser detonation in comparison to dynamite. The main advantage was discovered by the German Navy, who employed TNT's relative explosive stability in order to cause massive damage to British warships. Their torpedoes could be detonated inside a ship's armor, rather than exploding on contact as did other shells. Interesting. Chapter 2.6, Armstrong's Mixture. Armstrong's Mixture is included in this book as more of a point of interest than as a viable chemical mix. The formula exists as somewhat of a legend in modern pyrotechnics, referenced by those knowledgeable enough to stay away from it as death mix. Okay. Its incredible volatility make it unsuitable for almost all potential applications. Materials required: red phosphorus, barium. This mixture can be carefully and slowly mixed to minimize risk to the chemist. Sulfur can substitute for some or all of the barium to slightly decrease sensitivity. Well, that's good to know. So we have a nice little book of explosives. I'm sure we are going to be coming across those at some point in this game. Hopefully we don't ever have to make the death mix. But of course, now that I've said that, it's probably going to show up with some barium and... what was the last ingredient? I forget. Red phosphorus, that's what it was. Now, I don't think there's anything left in these drawers either, which doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, so let's head back out, and since we took care of the dog... glow sticks. Let's see if we can find a way out of this area. Okay, that's where we lit the lantern. What's this? That's the workshop. I think we actually need to head to the workshop, though. So let's go ahead and head this way. Yeah. Here we are. Oh, I wonder if this is what the other key's for. Jotted down a note. It's locked. Okay, so here we are, the little circle. The workshop is off to the right and the explosives is off to the left. There's explosives, huh? So... is that where all the barium and stuff is kept? Red phosphorus, whatever? Okay, what am I doing? Take the old key. Hey! Cool. Alright, let's open this up. Close that. Why, hey, why are you open again? Close. Apparently it doesn't want to close. Whatever. Might be a good idea to block the door. If that dog creature's back there, I don't want it sneaking up on me. Let's just do this. This might be a bad idea, though, considering that there are things it can climb on. Oh, shit! Okay, that scared me a little bit. Come here, doggy. Let's go. Hey, get back here. Yoo-hoo. Oh my. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't stay on those boxes, because apparently it can climb on sandbags. Okay, and apparently it's gonna screw off now. Yeah. What is this thing doing? Apparently I can look at something. Great rusty iron wheels, remnants of a past age of history. What is this dog doing? Come on. Come on, boy. Stupid mutt. Well, this is a bit anticlimactic. Ha! Woof. Whoop. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Actually, I'm curious. Can I grab this? Yes, I can. Apparently that doesn't work too well. Can I grab this? Yes, I can. Can I use this as a weapon? Yes, I can! Gimme. Whack! You dead? Apparently so. Well, cool. The hell? Apparently this is super heavy. Well, now we have a nice little lantern. Make this amnesia. Just carry around a lantern with us for a while. Yeah, it's stupid. Let's not set this place on fire, shall we? Put it right there. Or did I don't know. See if I can just put it upright. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so where are we exactly? That's weird. Why does it have that even though we're probably in the middle here? That's weird. Whatever. Alright, let's check out the explosives wing first and see what we got over here. What's this? Well, cement mixer's seen better days. An old toolbox. Some sandbags, I guess. And some TNT. Hello. What are we gonna need you for? Yeah, just toss you over there. Well, since I didn't find anything other than the TNT, I'm gonna go ahead and check out the workshop. Let's see. It's this way. I see the explosives, apparently. What's this? Old cartwheels and some other scrap. Okay. That's off to the explosives. Then what is this? It's supposed to be the only exit and it's caved in. The shafts cave in here could have happened years ago. I shouldn't be risking my life like this. The whole facility could come down around me. Still, if I want to press on, I'll have to clear this obstruction somehow. There must be something left here I could use. Maybe there's still some industrial explosives lying around. Hence the TNT. And since we have the Baxtrin, if we find some cotton and then some gunpowder, we're probably going to be making a fuse for it. That's my guess anyway. My favorite workshop. I love my workshop. It is too great a hunting ground. Okay, that's definitely a code. This is definitely a code of some sort. It is too great a hunting ground to let others gorge their faces. One cannot help but feel for those without such delicate mousy morsels on which to munch. For Red ate ravenously of their flesh today, and shall continue to do so. This is possible thanks solely to the button pad I installed on the door. And yet, Red's mind is working somewhat backwards today. Okay. So that's, what, 214... What was it again? 21 something. 2184. No, 2148. Backwards. Okay. So 8412? Well, cool. And here's a bottle, apparently. Okay, let's see. 8412. And it worked. I wonder who Red is. Because it was talking about Red. Or, not who, I mean what. Brilliant. One step closer to setting off the explosives without... what? Oops. Found a potential way out of here, but need to remove the rubble first. Okay, so what did I pick up? Cotton string. It's a piece of string just about long enough to make a fuse out of. Of course. Apparently these boxes don't throw very well. It could just be a piece of ice reflecting the light, or more likely my imagination, but something's definitely catching my eye under those rocks. Okay, let's find out what it is. What is that? A pickaxe! Give me! Nice! All the things that you'll need to be successful as a carpenter. Lots of wood. What's this? Looks ancient. It's so old I don't even know what it would have been used for. I don't know either. Well, cool. I wonder, is there anything else under these rocks? No idea. Come on. apparently I can't move that. Just toss these around here. Oh, I can't pick that up. Alright. Alright, that looks like everything under there, so let's go out. Oh, flare. I'll take that. And it looks like there's a door over there. What's this? These look like they've seen some use in their time. Can't imagine much fun working down here. In fact, it must have been pretty god-awful. A spare wheel. Yeah, those are some pretty bent shovels, considering they're all made of iron or steel. Alright, what's in here? Anything? Oh, there's a hole. Lovely. God, more spider webs. I hope that... Bleh, what was that? Let's just open this first, and then we can look again. Hey, autosave. I think it said something about the hole being there before the spiders, not the other way around. Eh. Ugh. Just looking at these webs makes my skin crawl. Hey, another flare. Cool. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that spiders are eventually going to be an enemy in this game. All things considered. Considering that we've seen them, and... okay. An electric fence has been put up recently? Better find a way to get over. Okie dokie. Can we pick this up? This place is in a serious state. Did that railing come off through disrepair, or was it ripped off? Looks awfully clean to be ripped off, but I don't know. Let's hope it's the former. Yeah. Okay, so obviously the fence doesn't fry things, it just kind of... it's a shock through them, I guess. Nothing flies right in this game when you throw it. Oh, that's funny. Alright, let's grab one of these boards. Just make a nice little ramp, I guess. I think it should work. Alright, let's hopefully not touch this. Alright. I didn't want to put it on top of the board. Come on. There we go. Alright, so let's pick this up. Okay. Whatever. I guess that'll work? Ooh! Ow. That hurt. Hey! There we go. What's with the music? I guess since we got over it? Explosives! Ah, this is more like it. And it's locked. How am I supposed to get in there now? The door does look very weak and old. Can we break it? Or do we have to use the pickaxe? Apparently we had to use the pickaxe. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my second slot. Let's see. What's this? Perfect, a gunpowder keg. There's only a small hole at the top, though. Not big enough to reach in. Break it, baby. That was easy. Dried gunpowder, exactly what I need. Hey, another flare. Anything in here? No, just the flare. Alright. That's a box. What are these? Oh, they're bombs. Lovely. Whatever. Nothing too practical here. Alright, so... soak the cotton in Baxtrin. So the gunpowder should stick, or rather I really pray the gunpowder sticks. Alright, with any luck, one fuse ready to go. Cool. Well, that wasn't too bad. Wait, why am I going this way? Force out the other way. I just realized how dark it is in this game. It's gonna be a bit of post-processing. These must be tied into what's going on here. If I keep experimenting, I may discover something useful. Or have a heart attack. So far probably the latter, considering. Alrighty then. I just realized. Considering that we killed the dog that was in the first area, how did it manage to follow us in here? Seems a little off. And speaking of which, where is the dog anyway? Because I'm pretty sure its corpse is right here. I guess it just despawned. Alright. Okay, I think since we now have the fuse, we can go ahead and take this TNT. And put it in the hole, I guess? Yep. I don't think I was supposed to look, but whatever. Got the fuse sorted. One spark and this thing should go up a treat. I just hope it doesn't take me with it. Oh, it's running faster than I thought. Okay. Boom. Alrighty then. Not much of an opening, but I'll have to do. Potholing has always terrified me. When I look back, I can't think what spurred me to go deeper into the mine. Perhaps it was arrogance at still being alive. Or something as ridiculous as facing adversity and coming out on top. Now, I know I would have been better off starving or being mauled to death than kick-starting the chain of events that led me to end up here writing to you. I just hope once you understand my story, you will have what's necessary to put an end to this tale. I certainly didn't.